Hey, it's Chris, and I want to say thank you to our veterans, active duty military, and first responders for serving our great nation. All right, on this week's show, I want to tell you about going to Louisiana back in 2012, plus some interesting facts about the presidents. You're listening to The Chris Carlisle Show, hosted by me, Chris Carlisle. In the news, Mardi Gras kicked off in New Orleans yesterday. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. won the Daytona 500. The cartoon of Cinderella, the movie that is, premiered on February 15th, 1950. Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, was published by Mark Twain in February of 1885. Singer Ray Charles recorded the song What I Say in February of 1959. Thomas Edison patented the phonograph in the 1870s. American astronaut John Glenn became the first American to orbit Earth on February 20th, 1962, and Dolly Parton's song 9 to 5 crossed over and became number one on the pop chart on February 21st, 1981. Here's some facts about the presidents. Starting with the OG, George Washington, who was a dog breeder. John Adams and his wife Abigail wrote 1,000 love letters to each other over the years. And other letters too, I'm sure. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence and also died on the 4th of July in 1826. John Adams died on the same day. James Madison was the shortest president. James Monroe was the last president to run unopposed. John Quincy Adams argued a case that freed rebel slaves on the ship Amistad. Andrew Jackson killed a man in a duel. Martin Van Buren was the first president to be born as a U.S. citizen. William Henry Harrison served the shortest term, dying a month after taking office. John Taylor had 15 kids. He also had grandsons who lived into the 21st century. James K. Polk died not long after leaving office. Zachary Taylor had never voted before he was elected in 1848. Franklin Pierce went to college at Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine. James Buchanan helped draft the Austin Manifesto in 1854, which called for the U.S. to invade Cuba. Abraham Lincoln, who was the tallest president, may have had a disorder which made him so tall and thin. Andrew Johnson cared for a family of mice in the White House. Ulysses S. Grant was invited to join President Lincoln at Ford's Theater the night Lincoln was assassinated. He and his wife went to see their children in New Jersey. Rutherford B. Hayes put the first telephone in the White House. James A. Garfield was elected to the Senate, but never served in the Senate because he was nominated for president not long after. Chester Arthur was named after the doctor who delivered him. Grover Cleveland, so far, is the only president to be elected after leaving office. To be reelected, that is. Benjamin Harrison hired the first woman for the White House staff. William McKinley's picture was on the $500 bill, which was discontinued in 1969, the year I was born. Theodore Roosevelt was the youngest president, taking office at 42. JFK was the youngest elected. William Howard Taft was the first president to throw out the first pitch at MLB opening day. Woodrow Wilson established Mother's Day. Warren Harding wrote love letters to a mistress before he took office. Calvin Coolidge was known for being quiet, told a woman who had made a bet that she could get him to say 3 words. The president told her, "You lose." Herbert Hoover from Iowa was the first president who was born west of the Mississippi. Franklin Roosevelt claimed to be kin to 11 other presidents. Harry Truman had no middle name. The S was just an initial. Dwight Eisenhower was the first president to ride in a helicopter. John F. Kennedy worked as a reporter in World War II shortly after the incident with the PT-109. Lyndon Johnson was a school teacher in South Texas. Richard Nixon started his career in politics with money that he won in poker games. Gerald Ford played football at Michigan and had a chance to play in the NFL. Jimmy Carter took over his family's peanut farm after his father died. Ronald Reagan was an actor and a radio announcer. More specifically, a sports announcer. He did recreations of NFL games, and he told a story one time about he was doing one of those recreations when the line went dead, so he kept having the batter foul off. George Bush was the captain of the baseball team at Yale. You'll see him in the sitting behind home plate at Astros games. Bill Clinton played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show early in the 1992 campaign, and I watched that. I didn't vote for him, by the way. I voted for George Bush. Anyway, George W. Bush. That's enough politics on this show. Anyway, George W. Bush took up penning after leaving office. Barack Obama, who was the first African-American president, won 2 Grammys for a spoken word album. Donald Trump, of course, was a developer and owned the New Jersey Generals of the original USFL. And Joe Biden overcame a stuttering problem. Folks having birthdays today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
All right. Actress Emily Blunt, actress Dakota Fanning, country singer Kenny Chesney, actor Sean Astin, actor Anson Mount, comedian Chelsea Handler, and actress Rashida Jones have birthdays. All right. I went to Louisiana today in Shreveport, actually, in October of 2012. It was the first time that I ever traveled out of my home state of Texas. I spent a weekend there, and I stayed at La Quinta off of I-20. I went to the Louisiana Boardwalk, and I also went to Louisiana Downs, where I played some slots and watched horse racing from some of the other tracks around the U.S. And I came home on Monday, the following Monday, that is. I got lost going up there and also getting back to my hotel with the pizza. Coming home Monday, I got lost in trying to get to Tyler. And I stopped and ate in Gunther, I believe, or Gunther, or Geiner, I think that's what it is. Also happening in 2012, they had the Olympics in London. They had the TV show The Walking Dead premiered on AMC. And Disney bought Lucasfilm Limited. And in other news, actress Raquel Welch, regarded as one of Hollywood's most beautiful actresses, passed away at the age of 82. Former Major League player and broadcaster Tim McCarver passed it at the age of 81. He played for the Cardinals and the Phillies, and was an announcer for the New York Mets, ABC, CBS, and Fox. And also wrestling promoter Jerry Jarrett passed away at the age of 80. He promoted wrestling in Memphis alongside wrestler Jerry the King Lawler. sure to leave a rating, hit the subscribe button, and a follow. Until then, have a good day. Hi, I'm Chris, and thank you for listening to my podcast, The Chris Carlisle Show. The Chris Carlisle Show is available on Spreaker. Please leave a like and a review, and also a follow. It's also available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Podchaser, and Podcast Addict. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.